Hey everybody, this is Comeau, Executive Editor of CE Pro, and today I'm joined by Shawn Kelly, the Chief Technology Officer of Panamorph. Shawn, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Zach. Glad to be here.
Yeah, so Shawn, talk of town is that Panamorph has a new lens targeting the ultra high-end home theater markets, and even leading into some commercial applications. Where did this idea come from?
We've been doing this for a couple decades now. The anamorphic lens business for residential started with home theater enthusiasts, really in the late 90s. And it was all about, to start with, all the projectors were 4x3 then. And so the enthusiasts said, okay, if we have an anamorphic lens, we can convert these projectors to 16:9. And then when 16:9 projectors came along, then the same conversion actually, will take it to 2:4. And we played around in the enthusiast market for a while. Then Sam Runco, who I had known for some years before that, with his projection systems, he got into the business of pretty much selling. Every projector he sold was anamorphically equipped, and we provided a lot of the glass for his lenses. And that just started the ball rolling because Runco had it. So who else wants it? Okay, well, they approach us and we create a lens for them. But it was largely residential back then, and kind of a niche market. What's happened lately is, it seems to us, and I know some other folks in the industry feel this as well, the dealers are gradually trending toward higher end theaters and fewer of them. So their project base is decreasing in volume, but it's increasing in price, for just business efficiency's sake. So as this is happening and flat panels are getting larger, they want to be able to differentiate against those flat panels, against basically just a big screen TV. And so the cinema format is what draws that. And so as these dealers are going to a higher end theater, they want higher end products. They want products simple to install, that have really obvious performance advantages over not having that product, so they can justify these things to their clients, and they want to make good money on it. So we have created the Alpha Pro to address that. And since that started, and we didn't really pursue the commercial side much, but we're getting more inquiries about, how do I make a more panoramic, immersive experience, whether it's a church or school. Microsoft Teams now has the front row, which is the 2.4 format. So we're seeing commercial applications growing. So the Alpha is there to address that demand and to increase it at the same time.
Great. Yeah, let's just back up for a quick minute and just have you tell us a little bit about Panamorph for folks who might not be familiar.
Yeah, well, we've been around since the beginning of Anamorphic. At first, we were more of a technology development, and we provided lenses to projector manufacturers. We found that the trend with the dealer base was to contact me directly. I'm the tech guy here, and so they wanted direct answers. That built basically a confidence in the custom installer industry of our products, but also our support. And so we've basically grown the business from the bootstrap of that enthusiast era to providing a high-end product for our dealers. And the reality is that we did have competition at one point. We don't now. So the dealers get to benefit from that because we only sell through custom installers. So
Gotcha.
They're selling things that no one else can sell. So that's kind of how we got here. Always evolving our tech, always evolving the products, the messaging, as well as evolving how do we explain this thing? Because it's it's not always easy. It hasn't always been easy. The projector manufacturers have worked with us very closely over the years to make it even easier for the dealers to install, because projector manufacturers want to take advantage of the cinema format as well. Again, for them, it differentiates against the flat panels. So that's how we got here.
Great. Speaking of that evolution, is new Alpha Pro, is it that different from previous lens options?
Yeah, very much. Obviously, we're close to our products, and uh, for roughly 80 years, anamorphic lenses have been used in cinema successfully for all the right reasons, the performance reasons. So, but along for the ride was this feature called geometric distortion, which just really at the edges you'd notice it the most, but there might be a little curvature, being pincushion shape or a barrel shape with the lenses. So the Alpha is the first lens. The Alpha we created last year, not the Pro. So we started with the Alpha, and that's the first lens with a new optical design that's proprietary to us, of course, that cancels out geometric distortion. So it's if anybody's been in this industry for a while, they know what distortion looks like. It is such a cool thing to see a rectangle on the screen of a bunch of uniform rectangles with no distortion. It really looks like the projector was just simply converted to this new format. So yes, the Alpha is quite a bit different. And really, we're going to be focusing only on distortion free for the future.
Great. So let's go back in time a couple years, when anamorphic lenses were, complicated with transports and external processors. Has the technology evolved past that?
I'd say evolution is the right word. The interest again started with the enthusiast, but back in those days, the projectors didn't have scaling modes. So you had to have an external processor, and the original Runco projectors did include an external component to handle that. So you'd use this processor to make the anamorphic work for highest performance in the cinema mode, and then you'd need a transport to move the lens out of the way to show 16:9. And that you can imagine that's a complicated system above the projector. The clients are, what is all going on up there? Well, fast forward to today, the projectors themselves have all the anamorphic modes to work with our lenses, both for the cinema format, but also for 16:9. So the lenses never move anymore. We stopped transports in probably 9 years ago, because it is so much simpler for everybody, clients and installers alike, to just mount the lens in front, set it up once, calibrate it, and you're done.
Great. So let's get to the nuts and bolts. What is the performance benefit of anamorphic projection?
Uh, Honestly, the performance benefit comes from the projector itself, not the lens. It's the projector with its internal anamorphic processing that is. So when you're showing letterbox content on a TV, 16:9, you got the black bars above and below. On a projection system, those black bars, the pixels are still there. They're just turned off, and they're absorbing the light and turning it into heat and throwing it out. We want to repurpose all those black bar pixels, which is millions of pixels on a 4K projector. We want to repurpose those for the image instead. So all the light is getting through to the screen rather than being absorbed. The projector itself is what is doing that. That's where the magic is. But if you don't have a lens, it means everything looks vertically stretched. So the sole purpose of the anamorphic lens is to reconvert that higher performance image to the proper 2.4:1 format.
Mm.
So yeah, that's a significant part of the evolution. The projector manufacturers have worked with us very closely. I mean, everyone that's in this industry, to make anamorphic as simple as possible for the installers.
Yeah, give us an idea of like how much content is actually created in the cinema format.
That's a good question, because some people really don't know that answer. Um, the cinema format was established at 2.4:1 in 1972.
Mm.
Not 235 or 237. It's basic. It's 2.393 is the SMPTE actual industry format for ultra wide for the cinema format. Since then, all told, over the last 50 years, over 80% of blockbuster movies are in the 2.4:1 format. 80%. And now we're seeing even more streaming content going to that format as well. Just about everything
Right.
Disney, Star Wars, every Star Wars
Mm.
spinoff is 2.4:1.
Okay.
A lot of Apple TV is 2.4:1. So uh, the uh, the industry is moving towards this, and probably the best vignette or testimony of why that's happening is just earlier this year, Apple TV came up with new anamorphic modes for Apple TV. And
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah.
you can Google Apple TV anamorphic modes, and it'll tell you this is meant for anamorphic projection.
Mm. Yeah.
So what used to be a niche is gradually going to mainstream. So
Right.
I mean, it's early days for Apple TV. The Apple content works great with these modes. Um, the other apps that you get on Apple TV, if you're watching Netflix, they don't yet have the technology ported to that app. So we're hoping in time that gets there. But I mean, it's great to have Apple
Oh,
somewhat
yeah.
leading the
Absolutely.
charge to the mass markets.
Right. Yeah, I do remember when they released that, and that was a big deal. Um, yes. What do custom installers like about anamorphic projection? How and why are they selling it?
Um, the why is well, it's performance. Um, that's the fundamental. When you see anamorphic with and without, I mean, you got 30% more brightness when you use an anamorphic lens because of all those extra pixels used. And because of those pixels, if you got awesome image processing, you get higher detail at the same time. So the impact of that image is just stunning. You don't even really need to show without the lens. It's just that the clients are floored by the performance they're seeing, the experience that they're seeing. So yeah, that I think that covers it really. It's for the why. Um, well, okay, fine. It's also a high margin product. Okay. Uh, so
There you
it's
go.
easy to justify to the client at the high MSRP, but it's also great business for the installer because
Mm.
it's very simple to install. And we're not talking hours here
Yeah.
for a $20,000 lens if they go with the Alpha Pro.
Right.
The how really kind of gets to well, it boils down to this. Do you want a big screen TV with cinema format content shown in a letterbox format with black bars and below,
Mm.
or do you want a cinema format experience that exceeds the performance of a commercial cinema? You got a high-end client. If they know what they
Yeah.
want to watch, if cinema format is important to them, they're not going to compromise. So,
Right.
so that is how it is sold.
Yeah. Speaking of that cost factor, in previous years, a cheaper option was to use a programmable projector or zoom settings to make the cinema format, bigger, then shrink back down to the TV format without an anamorphic lens. Are we still seeing that, or was that just a fad? Where's that stand?
So that's the zoom method of showing. It, it always has been a fad. It was interesting for the dealers to consider for some time a few years back. Um, a fundamental problem is when you have the projector zoom, focus, and shift changing every time you want to change your content. Over time, it doesn't go back to the exact same place. I mean, these are mechanical actuated, lens movers basically inside the projector. So, 6, 9 months later, a dealer needs to go back to recalibrate that setting, and dealers
Mm.
don't want to go back just for support, right?
Yeah. Right.
If they have to, they're happy to do so, but let's take that off their list. So, there was a little bit of, do we really want to do this for the Zoom method? But the fundamental kind of goes back to the how is a dealer selling projection. If the client decides to go with a cinema format projection screen, the Zoom method means that format content is the lowest performance of your theater. And then 16:9 becomes the higher performance, which is smaller. So if your largest image, your most immersive image is the lowest quality. Nobody wants that, especially at
Right.
the high end. They want the best quality if they're deciding the cinema format is for them. And
Right.
so, yeah, it's it was a fad. It'll probably be a fad for some time because not everybody can afford an anamorphic lens.
Right. Yeah. Where do you see the future of anamorphic lenses?
Um, it's the future is simplicity. Uh, we've already talked about some of the history with the transports and the image processors, and geometric distortion and all that. Um, we also had a lot of different lenses for a lot of projectors. So the we called the lens last year that had the first distortion free. We called it alpha. We kind of wanted to say the one lens that rules them all. Um, but so it is the top dog because of all these features. The features make it not only high performance, which we've always had, but it's simple to install. So, but if we had multiple lenses, then the dealers are saying, well, what lens do I need for this situation? So now we only have two lenses, the Alpha and the Alpha Pro, to make it even easier for the dealers to spec in a lens. And of course, they can contact me with every installation they have just for a sanity check. But I'd say the future is simplicity. So we're simplifying our product line. We're focusing everything on the new optical design tech.
Great. Shawn, well, CEDIA is just less than a month away now. It's coming up quickly.
Yeah.
Where are you guys going to be? Give us a booth number and what we should expect to see. I would imagine the Alpha Pro. You know,
You are going to see the Alpha Pro. So we are sharing a booth with Seymour Screens. It's
mm,
booth 4409. So we will have the Alpha Pro on static display there. I will be there for the standard, dealer meet and greet. But across the hall, we are in Sound Room 7,
mm,
which is, turning out to be, probably one of the most amazing experiences at CEDIA, with our various partners there. We'll have the Alpha Pro showing. At this point, it's going to be on um, the the Christie Eclipse.
ooh,
I mean, it's a $400,000 projector.
yeah, jeez.
You add up all the components in this room, and it's well over $1 million.
Right.
So if dealers want to see, if they can sell high end, this is the room to sell.
Mm,
This is the experience that they can come see and feel. I don't even know. I can't tell you how many speakers there are. I think the
yeah.
subwoofers themselves are 63-inch. I mean, we're actually building the sound room around those speakers,
Yeah.
because you can't get them through the door. I mean,
Yikes.
it's
Wow.
going to be a fascinating, fun experience with a lot of great partners. We've been
Mm,
spending months, meeting after meeting online, orchestrating this thing and trying to make it the best experience for
right.
dealers coming in.
Do we know what content will be part of the demo?
That has not been finalized. It will be a
Mm,
combination between, your standard WOW cinema format, uh,
yeah.
but we'll also be showing some music clips because some of the music, this is an audio room. Storm Audio
Yeah.
is in there. Ascendo, um, Simplified Acoustics. So we want to demonstrate every product going into this $1 million theater.
Beautiful. Very good. Shawn, thanks very much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Zach. Have a good one.